you don't shy away from talking about the things that are important to you in the industry, outside of the industry, whether it's talking about, like the heartbreak of Nerds not coming to Broadway, or like what you feel about the latest crop of Bachelorette contestants.
Bachelorette
oh my gosh, I cannot wait to talk to you about The Bachelor. I believe that I did tweet at one point that it was one of my life goals to watch The Bachelor with you, because it just seems like your feedback about that show is so entertaining.
It's one of my. I was just trying to figure out what day I'm going to see Boys in the Band, which my friend Andrew Reynolds is in, and I was like, May 28th is a Monday. No, wait, Bachelorette premiere. Sorry about it, can't do it. So I do plan my life around The Bachelor.
Well, wait, if your day off is Monday and The Bachelor is on Monday, then will you never be able to see any other shows on Broadway?
No, never. Not at least.
Because you won't DVR it.
No. Watching it back after, it's the live aspect of it. It's the I have a group of like Twitter women that we just tweet to. It's the weirdest thing. I haven't met the majority of them, but I'm like, this is what we do.
Do you know that I watched the first couple seasons of The Bachelor, and then I stopped watching it, and then I started again because of your tweets?
I've heard that from multiple people, and you're welcome. You're welcome.
And it feels very synergistic because it's ABC and Disney.
And Monday.
And I know.
My day off.
But this wasn't planned, right? It's just coincidence?
Yep, completely. Yep. I started Casey watching it too. She watched it once while we were apart, and then we watched it and we were texting, and all of a sudden she was like, what is happening here? What is wrong with him? Why would he pick her? And I was like, yeah, this is how it starts. And now she's like, oh, okay, when is it? When is the beginning? The 28th? Okay, great. And I'm like, yep, you're done, girl. You're done.
I know we joked-ish about this on social, but I do think we should do a Watch The Bachelor with Patti charity event.
I would 1,000% do that.
Yeah.
1,000%. Yes. That would be awesome.
Has there been any talk about a Frozen Bachelor? Sometimes they go on adventures, and I believe they went to Lion King one season.
They did. They went to Lion King. They went to Aladdin. It all depends on if their production schedule brings them to New York City or not.
Who do we need to call?
Well, I have a feeling that they're almost done filming. But here's the thing. The winners and whoever wants to come and see Frozen can see it whenever they want. Yes, from The Bachelor or Bachelorette. Unless you're Ari, then you can't come. Sorry. It's not
So, okay. We know how you feel about that.
It's not a secret.
How do you feel about the new Bachelorette?
I love her so much. And if we had to go through Ari to get to Becca, I'm totally fine with it.
I don't think they're going to be anywhere near each other anytime soon.
Nope. Nope.
So can we talk about Nerds?
Yes, of course.
Because you wrote a piece that had the word "sometimes" in it a lot.
Yes.
And I think the official title of the blog was sometimes an actress writes a blog after not writing a blog for a long time, but every paragraph starts with the word "sometimes." And you talk about how sometimes you basically the worst thing that you can imagine turns into the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yep.
And that's one of my favorite concepts in the world, this idea that in the moment we sometimes can't tell what journey we're being sent on. And I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that, either in the context of Nerds or not, but your ability, that feels like a very Anna concept to me, the ability to remain positive, stay optimistic, and keep slogging through it.
Yep. It's sort of like that phrase that everybody hates to hear. Everything happens for a reason. And you're like, can you not do that right now? Because I think saying that in the moment is not helpful. But I think looking back when something happens and you're like, what had to not happen to get here? Yeah. I think that's where the lesson is actually learned, as opposed to being like, oh, okay, my Broadway show just got canceled. Everything happens for a reason. It's going to be fine. Because you have to let yourself grieve and go through, whatever it is, whatever the terrible thing that happens, you have to let yourself feel it. You have to let yourself go through the stages of getting over it. And then it's super cool later on when you're like, oh my God, that's so funny. If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here right now. So I was supposed to be doing a show out of town when I got the call for Nerds that it was coming to Broadway. So I backed out of the show out of town and I started rehearsals for Nerds, and then it got canceled 3 weeks in. And
into
rehearsal, yeah. We were literally singing in rehearsal. We were singing the lyric, "Live your dream," and they were like, "Stop." We were like, "Cool." Which again, you have to find the humor in these situations because that's hilarious.
Well, it is now. It is now, but it was pretty traumatic, I can imagine, at the
Yeah,
time.
it was not great. But then I realized that I was like, okay, I guess I'll go back to Chicago and like be with my husband. And then the audition for the first reading of Frozen came up, and I ended up going in and getting it. But if I had been out of town in San Diego, where I was originally scheduled to be, I would not have been at that audition. And it's not to say that Frozen wouldn't have come about in another way anyway, but like it didn't. That's how it came about, and that's what's exciting. And like, okay, like that was really terrible at the time with nerds, but like. I made a lot of really great friends, and we are like the weirdest bonded family in the world now. Hopefully someday we'll get to do a concert of all of the, the music from it, because it was just so good.
How can I help make that happen?
I don't know. We should talk about it though.
Well, if you think of any way, I'm
just
on
please
board.
Don't stop us in the middle of live your dream. Wait, what?
Oh, that's not what okay, got it. Also, Lysistrata Jones.
Yes.
Oh, I saw it on Broadway. I wish I'd seen the one that was presented like in a gym.
Yeah, it was like right over by here. Yeah, we passed it on the way.
What an underrated show.
I know.
But thank goodness you got that cast album. I know that was
truly. It's one of those that every so often I'll listen to Give It Up just because I'm like, yeah, like, I just want to like bop along to something. That's another one that we still have a group text that like anytime someone has an opening or like a birthday or something happens, we'll send a text, and all of our inside jokes are still valid. So yeah, that was heartbreaking. That was a heartbreaking one when that closed.
There was talk of it becoming a movie.
Yes.
Is that still in the works?
I have no idea.
Oh.
No clue.
I was hoping you were going to be like, big announcement.
I feel like I might be a little bit grown up for it at this point. That HD thing.
I think you look pretty good, Patti.
Thanks.
But those outfits were skimpy.
Yeah.
But I think you look great. There are a lot of videos on YouTube, and they are fun.
Yeah.
So people can go and check that out.
It was great. We had a great time with that.
Also, I think we have to mention your friendship on stage and off with Casey Levy, who plays Elsa, because I love hearing you guys talk about each other and how you really have become each other's support system and family.
Yeah.
You live really nearby each other. When you weren't well, she came over and like made you soup and
yep. It's kind of uncanny, like when I'm sort of like going into a spiral, she's like, it's almost like we're a seesaw in a good way. Whereas like if I'm like kind of like, getting tired and getting like exhausted or whatever, she's on the way up. And she is in the position to be able to take care of me. And the other way around, if she's starting to get just like a little bit like overwhelmed by everything, I am on the way up, so I can be like, whatever you need, we got this. Like it's really, it works like a relationship, like an actual romantic relationship, in the way that we take care of each other and the way that we love each other and just can say anything to each other, and we don't judge, because I say all the time that like there's one other person in the world that knows what it's like to be one of the leads in Frozen on Broadway, and it's her. And no matter, other people who have been leads, of course, in shows and blah, blah, but like this role in this show at this time, we're the only people who truly understand every single second about what we're going through and what's being, asked of us and thrown at us and stuff. And so not everyone has that. Usually it's kind of lonely, but we have like this like just built-in partner that we get to go through everything with, and we genuinely love each other. Like truly, we're the same kind of weird. Like we're the same kind of like super dorky. So, we're two very different people, but in a way that we just fit together really well.
Which sounds like the definition of sisterhood.
It's a sisterhood, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
No, yay. So I feel like I confessed backstage that I have had this friend crush on Patti for like years, and always been like, oh my gosh, I really want to be friends with her. So I don't want to like finish the interview because I just am enjoying sitting here finally having a conversation.
We can hang out later.
But let's take a couple questions from the audience.
Great, yay. Hi.
So you have been inspiring so many people through both your advocacy and through your role in this show. So the question I want to ask you is, who are some of the people who have inspired you along the way?
Ooh, that's a good one. Audra McDonald is numero uno, 1,000% for every reason that you could ever come up with. Career, her honesty about what she's been through, her genuine warmth as a human, her willingness to help someone that she doesn't know very well. And also because she's really freaking talented. And that would be silly if she was left off anyone's list of their idols. So she's one. Also, Kelly O'Hara has been another recent one, actually, that she's been really, really just so generous with her time and her advice and her, about like being the lead in a big show on Broadway where people expect a lot of you and want a lot from you. So I would those are the main two, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else has a question?
Hi.
Hi.
I have tickets to see Frozen next month, and I'm so excited.
Oh, my God.
And I just wanted to know, are there any surprising differences between the movie and the stage adaptation?
I don't think surprising, but I feel like if there was something, I probably shouldn't say it, because then you wouldn't be surprised. Right?
What I can say from an audience perspective is that the special effects are remarkable.
There
are certain things you can't do in any medium other than theater, and the designers on Frozen have taken advantage of that to the nth degree.
And the opposite is also true, that like a lot of the things that you can do with animation, like you can animate people to do whatever you want, be wherever they want. Like Love is an Open Door happened all over the palace, and you're like, we have two people in an empty stage. But we also have Rob Ashford and his brilliant choreography, and so we kind of took what was a really like fast-paced, exciting scene in the movie, in the animated movie, and turned it into something that's truly built for the stage. So it's kind of neat the way it works both ways.
It's like, see this logo? See how you think you're seeing a snowflake, but there's actually like a woman here.
Faces.
And there are these faces with eyelashes, and I feel like the
face.
set is that your face? Did they
No.
use your actual silhouette?
I like to say it is. Just
that would be awesome.
Like, guys, that's
but
like
I
my
feel like
face.
the show itself is like that. Like you can watch it and you can see one thing, but like the closer you look, the more layers are
We do have hidden Mickeys on set.
actual hidden Mickeys.
1,000% hidden Mickeys. I don't think anyone will kill me for saying this, but we have a hidden BB-8. It's from Star Wars. Yeah, it's like a Disney lover's dream.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Have these shown up on the hidden Mickey's blogs and stuff?
I don't know, actually, because I don't think anyone can get close enough to see them. That's why.
This is a challenge,
Because it's
you
not
guys.
like you're all of a sudden looking at like Let It Go, and you're like, oh my God, Mickey Mouse. Like but truly, I mean, in all the designs, in all of the hidden folk in their tattoos, it is. I don't know if they'll ever see the light of day, but someone's got Sully from Monsters Inc. on their body.
These are the secrets that we watch. We oh my gosh.
It's so cool because the design it's so specific to each person. Every ball gown Christopher Oram designed specifically for that person. The colors, the cut, it wasn't just like, okay, make one in blue, make one in green, make one whatever. The makeup designer, she's the one that did the hidden folk tattoos. Every one of them is different. Every one of them is specific to the person that has it on, and it's phenomenal. The detail is unbelievable. And it's crazy that you're like, oh my God, no one's ever gonna know that.
But
Like,
that's what Disney is about.
yeah.
I'm such a Disney nerd.
There's a little toy that young Anna has, and I also have when I wake up in the bed, which is one of the characters from Olaf's Frozen Adventure, but in like knit form. And it used to be in Denver, it was actually a vintage Mickey Mouse, sort of like a little Easter egg. Yeah. I know, it's so fun.
cool.
The Disney
Just if
lover
you
in
can
me.
get
I'm like,
permission to one of these hidden
I will
things.
do my best.
Okay.
But I promise nothing.
I understand. We have time for one more question.
Hello.
My question is, apart from Anna, is there any Disney character, whether animated or live action, that you identify with?
Ooh, I mean, well, I feel like this is kind of cheating. I was going to say Rapunzel. Also been alone, reads a lot, does a lot of things. Belle was always my one until Anna came along, that I was like, because she loved to read and she wasn't necessarily accepted, which is so crazy because you look at that town, you're like, you're the most normal person in that town. I grew up loving, like my parents would have to yell at me to not read at the dinner table, and I would like read going up and downstairs. Like I still do. Like I'm the person that gets off the subway and I like stand by a pole to like finish my chapter until I go upstairs. So when she came out and I was like, oh, book lover, and she was also like brunette, and she just had like a lovely spirit about her, and I just loved that. I also loved that she didn't take any crap from the beast. Know what I mean? Like. She tamed him basically, which sort of there's it sort of goes against the normal quintessential Disney story of like Prince is gonna save me. Like essentially she saved him. So yeah, Belle was my girl.
Do you have VIP status for life at all the Disney parks?
I don't know how that works.
I feel like there's some secret ID you get where you're
don't
like.
know.
Put me to the front of all the lines because I'm a Disney princess.
I don't know.
Add that to your
I'll
list
let
of
you
things
know when
to
I
find
find
out.
out.
In the meantime, it's not like you have time to go
that's the other
flitting
thing.
off to
Yes.
Orlando.
Yeah.
You are starring 8 times a week in Disney's Frozen on Broadway, Tony nominated. It's an incredible spectacle, a beautiful show. You sound and look and act like everything I want this Disney princess
Thank
to
you.
be. And I can't say enough good things about you,
Thank you so much.
as Anna in Frozen. Patti Murin, you're amazing.
Thank you all for coming.